How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I appreciate your face. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And either today or tomorrow, we should hit 5K on the channel. So, like, and thank you so much. I absolutely love you guys. Absolutely love doing this. If this is one of your first time catching my content, I like to treat my stuff like a live show. So no edits, jump cuts, stuff like that. I want my content to feel like a buddy having a conversation with you and just like talking and explaining something to you about the game and working a few jokes in there. So try to leave you with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of a smile. We're doing what we can out here. So we've actually got two builds in one video. So essentially, we got Fischl's Rusty Spoon, okay? And then completely separately, though I can totally see how you might put these two together, put your eye out, okay? So we've got two different ones we're going to talk about today. And really, it comes down to kind of weapon choice. But let's take a look at our girl here real quick. So this is essentially, this first one, Rusty Spoon, is entirely for people that are going or want to use Fischl as your like auto attack main DPS. It's possible. It is completely possible. I know a few people are like, no, 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 no. You press E and then you switch. That is your job. She's great at that job, and you can still get a little bit of that action, especially with this build. But you really can, with the right stuff, be able to use her auto attack. Now, my Razor, even with, like, if I took all of Razor's gear and threw it on my girl Fischl, right? Razor still can do about the same auto attack damage, but if he had all the really good gear that we're about to go through on him, he would be doing a decent amount more. The Put Your Eye Out build actually has a chance in some situations to be able to match that damage, but this build is a little bit lower, so it's for all my Razor people, I know it's hard to use somebody else, guys. I know it's hard. It is completely possible, though. But for everyone that doesn't have Razor, you can kind of do some of the same stuff with our girl here, at least once you're over like AR 30 and you're getting a little bit deeper into the game. So let's take a look at the most important piece for the first build, and it is Rust. Kind of influenced the name just a baby bit, you might imagine. But if we look at the attack on it, or sorry, not the attack, the skill on it, it's got increased normal attack damage by 40%, but decreases aim shot damage by 10%. So, very important thing to know, because you don't really, once you're using this, kind of don't want to use charged attacks. Like, you're just not going to get that much from it, especially with how quickly Fischl can attack with her auto attacks and everything. It is vastly superior to just be auto attacking with her. So, definitely the key thing in the build. If you don't have this weapon, you're going to have a really hard time using Fischl as a main DPS. But it is possible if you're running with Rust. Alright. So as far as the artifacts go, we're running martial arts, full 4-set. It's just because her E is still so very, very, very strong that you're going to be using it off cooldown. So its ability to then boost your damage an additional percentage. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And so we've got, attack percentage, and attack percentage. If you're able to get somewhat decent crit rate, you can definitely, for this last slot, go crit damage. Unfortunately, the only crit damage piece I have is this one, and it's not really, I can't justify leveling up a 3-star artifact higher than +8. So if you have a better one, yeah, you can throw some stuff into that puppy. But we're definitely sticking with our marshals at the moment. But Patty, you went +12 on that one. That is literally one of the only attack slots I've gotten for this crown. Okay, just stop judging Patty for a moment. As far as substats and stuff that you want to be looking for on this gear, obviously it's going to be offensive stuff. So we're talking crit rate, crit damage, extra attack percentage if you can get it. So we're getting a little bit of crit, a little bit of attack right there, a little bit of crit damage. Elemental Mastery is probably going to be the 4th runner-up after those substats, and then anything, like, this is not optimal for substats. They're not the worst, because energy recharge ain't a bad thing. HP percent, Fischl kind of can't take a single hit. Like, if too big of an enemy just kind of sneezes in her direction, I love my girl, but she dead. She dead. Like, she can't take no smoke. So, if you were to get a little bit of HP percent in substats, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you really want damage on those as much as possible. And then, yes, substats don't love any of us, so only, I think, 3 of these have somewhat decent substats. Look at me trying to count 1 roll into Elemental Mastery as decent. No, I've only got 2 good substats on these. But until you're AR 40, 45, you really shouldn't be farming gear and worrying about it too much anyway. So just hobble together whatever you can based off of the primary substats. You good, boo. You good. So we can show a little bit of damage that she can do. See if we can find some friends down here. I feel like I see a friend near that chest. Yeah, we got some buddies. And also switch to Razor to show you what he's doing, but he also doesn't have really crazy gear on him, so it's not the best example. Yeah, we're just gonna go for these guys. How you doing, gentlemen? Forgot that my E might kill them before that actually finishes. And I had to pick guys with shields. Smart move, Patty. But that's, they're hitting for, 400 to 500 a hit and everything. But once you're on a good target and everything, those will keep just flying. It's very quick damage that adds up very quickly. That's how it's almost comparable to Razor. But if we switch to our boy, even with slightly less optimal gear, he's still gonna do a good amount of damage. Yeah. But it's not too far off from Fischl's, and just how quickly she's attacking, it really holds up in some situations. Really, the biggest drawback and thing I'd say to worry about with this build is the fact that she can't take very many hits. You can still headshot, but in terms of some weak point damage that we're going to look at here in a bit, that 1200's kind of a joke. It's, and the time that it would have taken to charge the shot, not even shoot it, we've already done the same amount of damage with auto attacking. So I just want to make that very clear for people, that if you're, running the rusty spoon, don't do this. Just don't do this unless it's, you're having to shoot something, like the correct element thing. Boy, we almost got close to that. Sorry, I'm just slightly proud. I've never been a sniper in FPSs, so getting pretty proud of me in the bow right now. But I really, the damage on this is impressive, to the point to where I had heard about it being a thing that you could possibly do. So actually testing it out and seeing how it kind of stacks up, it's pretty nice. I would not have expected any bow character to be able to fill the main DPS role. And if you're, a little bit newer, essentially the way your team setup should be is you've got your main DPS and then 3 supports. And typically Fischl is like one of the best top 3 supports in the entire game. Like, this girl shows up to work. So it's impressive to me that she has a build where she can basically just auto attack and just bully stuff. So wanted to spotlight that a little bit. But you can also get some ridiculous damage, and we're going to go to a little spot Petty's going to show you, which is really good for testing aim shot damage for different bows, if you're trying to go through and do some things and figure stuff out on your bow wielding characters. But we're just going to go to this little place here, right? Climb up this little wall. Just gonna keep on climbing. All right. There's too many DMCA things going on right now. Why am I singing fake songs? That might be close to something. I was just playing. I was just playing. All right, but this is Patty's Little Special Spot. So what you can essentially do from up here, and I'm gonna switch some stuff around here in a second. But if you actually hit things and don't suck at the game, you can test auto or weak point damage from here, and you just move back a little bit. Those guys can't come up that hill in like 10 seconds. They're gonna be like, oh, whatever, and then go back to their spot. And they should get a little bit of health back and everything. So if you're careful, you can use these guys for a decent bit of testing. See, and they're already reset. Oop! Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't leave your safety spot. This is your safety spot. Right all here is your safety spot. Don't jump down there. You're gonna have a bad time. Well, you'll kill everything. It's not necessarily a bad time, but see, that guy should have all of his health because I missed. There we go. See, and he had gotten all of his health back. Otherwise, we did that same amount of damage the first time. Woulda killed the man. But alright. So, let's go ahead and switch our bad boy out here for our one and only the Sharpshooter's Oath, which is still, in my opinion, one of the strongest bows in the game. Like, I don't care about your 5 stars. This weak point damage is gross. I don't know if there's weak point damage 5-star weapon. If there is, it's probably absolutely disgusting and deletes things. But I have a feeling there's not, because that would be super, super broken. But this weapon is so good. It's so good. If you've seen the video that we did on Amber with her boss killer build, it does a lot of work, and it deserves so much respect. Let's take a look at what that damage looks like now. Ooh. And remember, we have the set on where after we use our E, we get to go again. 2K hits. Now, if you can get and bust these out really quickly and keep hitting stuff, this build can be absolutely amazing for bosses, for certain domains that, the ones that have like human types, they could kind of work. Mostly for it'll be like basically turning ruin guards and everything like that into absolute mincemeat. It is very, very, very satisfying. So main time I would recommend using that build is when you're kind of hunting big game. There's a reason we call it the put your eye out build, and that's because the weak point damage on it is gross. Gross. And if you are able to fight at something, like a boss that's going to have a consistent... Wow, you were just still on me. I'm sorry I shot your friends. Jeez. But if you're, fighting a rune guard or something like that, where you're you're able to pretty consistently... There we go. You got it, bud. Keep drilling these into weak points pretty much as soon as it's up. You're gonna do some pretty solid damage at a much safer distance than someone like Razor would have been able to do it. So it is definitely something that you can use to basically, if you know you're gonna get bullied, or you're doing a fight where and if you get too close, the mechanics start messing you up. So if you're still trying to use Razor in a fight that you can't really get close with, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna be a slogfest. Having the ability to run Fischl with this one will greatly improve all that. Just the weak point damage is gross. Basically, with my Razor with his full gear on, his crits are basically they're around 2K, a little bit over 2K. But so the fact that Fischl can bust out hits that are comparable to a Razor with all the best and prettiest on him is noise. Is a little noise. But safe to say also that gear isn't really changing up between these two builds in terms of artifacts. It's really the difference in weapons and what you're doing with them and how you're using them that I wanted to stress. So let me know what you guys think. Definitely try these two just bully of a build for Fischl. Because again, I thought she was one of the best supports in the game. Did not know she could do DPS, but thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate all of you that helped me get to 5K. And yeah, we're just going to keep doing the thing, see how it goes. Thank you so much, and you guys have a good one. Deuces.